see it. No, I'm sure they could. It's on the screen, the room is reversed.
Yep.
It happened some during the Board of Adjustment hearings.
It is 9 o'clock. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good morning. We appreciate all of you who are here today, and also those of you out in Zoom land. Our first item of business is from Kurt Strauss.
Hey, good morning again.
Good morning.
Feels like we were just here and we kind of were. So hopefully not sick of us yet. But yeah, well, good morning. Yeah, we're here for obviously for our funding request. Looking forward to the next fiscal year. We did submit a letter for your consideration. I think for the record, I think you guys have that for your consideration. I also want to thank you again for the time this morning. Tim, I want to thank you again for serving on our corridor board of directors. It's been a pleasure being able to get to know you and having your support with our mission and what we believe in. So I wanted to recognize our staff first. Alyssa and Joe must still be in transit, so I will recognize them when they get here. It's usually not like them to be a little bit late, so I'm hoping everything is okay with them. But I do want to just introduce Trevor Smith, which you guys got a chance to meet him a couple of weeks ago. He's I've only been at this in this position for about 4 months, so it's not very common. I could say there's somebody newer than I am in a short time frame, but Trevor would be that guy. So Trevor serves as our Vice President of Economic Development, and he's going to update us on a project here in just a second. So as you know, I started August 21. My last 12 years, I served for the community as Community Development Director for the City of Sheldon. I had a really, really good run. But this has opened up a really good opportunity for me professionally. And I'm just blessed to be able to have a great board of directors who sees a good mission, and our staffing that we have is a hungry staff, and I'm excited about it. I mean, we inherit Alyssa, who's been there for 5 years, and then Joanne Fallon, 15 years of experience in our BRE program, which BRE stands for Business Retention and Expansion, which is probably one of the most key aspects of what we do on a day-to-day basis. So, since I've started, our goal, and Tim knows this, we talk about a lot at the board, is, I'm a big collaborator. I'm a big partnership guy. And Jeff, you've been a part of some of the stuff we've done already, and I think you can probably speak to that a little bit. Without the people and the relationships from the county supervisor level to the cities, the people and the businesses, economic development's a tough business. So we've hit the ground hard, just meeting as many people as we could. I think this is the third time we've been in the County Board of Supervisors in front of you guys since August. And that's what we're doing. And we're doing that everywhere. And we want to be visible in the 4 counties. We want to build those relationships at the highest level possible, because once we do that, development comes natural. And that was my experience in Sheldon. You develop the key relationships, you built the support system, things funnel. And that's what we want to do going forward. And we want to continue to partner with our highest level partners as we possibly can, including you guys here in Dickinson County, and things are going to go well. We got a hungry bunch of staff, and I think Trevor can, it's his short time. I think he recognizes that too. And it's about leadership, and we want to bring that and through our programming and all the things that we're doing here for the corridor. So again, I want to thank you again for your support in the past, and I want you to believe in us going forward. And I want to humbly request the same amount of funding as we've had previously. If you guys have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer those for you now. We were just in for an update, so I don't have a ton of new information for you from a programming standpoint. But I did ask Trevor just to speak really quickly on a project that we're working on, a collaboration on the 4 counties, to highlight some of the workforce recruitment efforts that we're going to be doing. So there they are. Hi, guys.
Hi.
I'm sure there's a really, really good story, but I'll save it for the future. But I'm glad you guys are here. So anyway, so Trevor, if you wanted to speak about the My Town project real briefly.
Yeah, so My Town is a documentary series that's coming here to the Lakes area. We're getting 1 episode that will be roughly about 20 minutes. It comes from the team that made the Emmy award-winning documentary series, Role by Choice, led by Corey Heppola, who was former news anchor up in the Twin Cities, and then started working with the Brookshire company to start highlighting rural communities. And part of that is breaking down the stereotypes of living in a small rural community. And some of those could be, there's not a lot of diversity up in rural Iowa, or, there's nothing to do in the wintertime here in the lakes. And so part of this we decided to do in the winter time, so that way we can highlight, some of those misconceptions. And we have plenty of content around the area, of everything to do in the summertime and things like that. And so I think it's really important that we get, an everyday day in the life of the people here who live here year round. And so that's a major priority of that. And with the content, we will be able to use it for workforce development over the coming years, and workforce recruitment, business recruitment. And it's something we're going to use throughout the entire corridor through the 4 counties. And I think it'll be a really great project for us. And we're the only community selected in Iowa. There'll be 7 episodes over 7 communities, 4 in Minnesota, 1 in North Dakota, 1 in Wisconsin. So we're really fired up that we are selected to be one of those cities, and we'll do our best to represent the community.
Thanks, Trevor. Why that video is going to be important for us is we do our BRE visits that I talked about, and Joanne does a great job of leading our office in those visits. BRE stands for Business Retention and Expansion. 80% of community growth, I've highlighted this stat many times, comes from within. It comes from those existing companies that we have in our organization, or in our regions and in our communities. So one of the biggest hurdles that they're having right now is workforce, and they need a workforce to be able to continue to grow and expand, not only in jobs, but also in capital investment and millions of dollars of expansion projects. So we feel really excited about this project because we're going to be able to continue to highlight the quality of life that we have in our region to be able to recruit some workforce to our area. So with that, I do want to recognize Joanne. Hello, Joanne. And Alyssa from our office. They're integral part of what we do. And again, want to thank them for their service to our office. So in closing, like I said, you guys have our letter. I just want to close and just again thank you for your continued investment. We truly are grateful for it. We don't take it for granted. I'll reiterate, we do have a hungry staff. We're fully staffed, and for these 2 sitting here, that by itself is a relief. And we're hungry. We're excited to get to work. We're going to be doing a strategic planning session right out of the gate in Q1, where we're going to lay out the foundation of where we're going to go. And we look forward to keeping you guys updated on our goals and priorities going forward. And our door is always open. Our phone is always on the hook if it's not busy. We're happy to answer any questions you guys may have at any time. So with that, I'll open up any questions. Thank you.
No. Guess we're all fulfilled.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Bill, I see you at a basketball game last night, dressed up in Hawaiian gear.
You betcha.
I saw a picture last night, and it looked like all the parents from the freshman group were all decked out in Hawaiian gear at the game.
I didn't get the note on.
You
that.
didn't?
That was
No.
just for parents.
You were in the picture though, so you look good. But anyway,
Good.
Thank you very much. You guys have a great day. Yep. Yep. You too. Thank you.
Okay, next on our list is rides, and I believe Cindy Voss will be doing that.
Good morning.
Hi.
How's everybody?
Wonderful.
Awesome. Well, again, it's a pleasure to be here, as it always is. I am here to represent Rides with our annual fundraising request, which remains at $16,406. It's the same as it has been in the past. Rides is honored to have served the communities of Dickinson County, providing 28,653 one-way trips in FY23. That is an increase of over 6,000 from our FY22 year, which was at 22,647. This number, which is the one I'm excited to share, is includes our desire to try and really be a great community partner. And what that means is we did just under 10,000 complimentary trips this past year, meaning that we partnered with Arnold's Park Amusement Park, the DNR, Lakeside Lab, local daycares and preschools, and the Pearson Lakes Art Center to transport individuals that were here for events that they held. And that was really exciting. And I want to publicly acknowledge Kim Doon and Brian Peterson, our operations director and safety coordinator. They coordinated all the buses and drivers that it takes to do those 10,000 trips. And it's an undertaking, but we're really grateful that we were able to be a part of that. 92,724 represents our revenue miles, and that came in at an operating cost of just under 800,000 for this past year for us. The last year saw us launch the R mobile app. You may have heard about that when we went public with that. That allows people to place a trip, follow a trip, cancel a trip from the convenience of their smart device. So it's much like an Uber process. And what we have found for that is that our adult children of some of our mature adults that we transport really enjoy that, because they can get a notification on their phone telling that their trip for their parent has been completed, or that the bus will be there in 5 minutes, or that they have been dropped off for their appointment, which has really been a great service for our community. The first thing pending this next fiscal year is that we are launching our centers portal, and that allows us to partner with the hospitals and nursing homes and daycares around and allow them. We have the opportunity to monitor who does that, but they'll have access to our centers portal. So they'll be able to log on and schedule a trip for their patients themselves. And what that means is if you work for the doctor's office and I, as Cindy Voss, go to the doctor and I need a follow-up appointment in 4 weeks, that staff member behind the desk is not only going to be able to schedule me for my follow-up trip to the doctor, but also my bus trip at the same time. It will reduce no-shows for our medical clinics. And so we're excited to partner with them about that. Additionally, we have just implemented our partnership with Enterprise Commute, and I would have thanked them publicly, but they just left. The corridor hosted a luncheon for us last week where we announced the partnership with Enterprise, and that really, our hope is, will empower our local industries and businesses to overcome the barrier of transportation problems. So we will subsidize the van that Enterprise provides for that company so that individuals can work together and have a way to get to work. So we're really excited about that as well. I would welcome any questions if you have them, or at least I'll try to answer them. At this time, I see you all have the packets. I forgot to ask that in the beginning, but I see you flipping, so I know you, at least I'm assuming you're looking at rides information, maybe not. I'm sure there's more exciting things to look at than that, but.
Well, Cindy, can you do a deeper dive into the amounts the state hasn't sent us?
Oh, boy.
That's probably more of a.
It is.
question.
The state is really, I'm not even sure what the words are to use it. I would say just really behind. They've had a lot of turnover in staff. And as you're aware, you guys' funding supplements what we get from the state and federal government. And the state office has been short-staffed, and we are into the 6-digit figures several times behind what we should be receiving for them. So it's a struggle, and we are really kind of, we look good on paper right now. I do have concerns moving forward until they get things straightened out. Does that help, Bill? Do you want more information
That's fine.
specifically?
That's
It's an issue moving forward, and we're fortunate that we have the backing of individuals like yourselves, the Board of Supervisors, and the cities that help us. There are transit agencies that it's really going to become an issue for, that are going to be living basically day to day until some of that gets done. So we're very grateful, and you guys' support allows us to continue doing what we're doing.
And explain what happened to the computers on the buses.
Oh, do I have to?
Yes.
All of our transportation communication happens via a tablet and a software program called EcoLane. And we purchased tablets through a software and cell phone company, and we began experiencing exceedingly high numbers of these tablets, just what I would call bricking. In fact, that's what they call it. They just go black, and then you can't get them to turn back on. You can't power them down. You can't do anything. And it became an internal battle between the cell phone provider and the software provider, basically saying it's not our fault. It's not our fault. It's their fault. It's their fault. We came to the conclusion that it was really our cellular provider that was the issue. So we had to undertake an expense we were not planning on, and we have moved cell phone providers. And we had to purchase new tablets. So it's going to reflect heavily in our budget this year, which, you know, as you know, when we budget, there's two things we cannot guess what's going to happen. One is gas prices. And the other one is parts and expenses. And as you're all aware, anything for fixing our vehicles has in some cases tripled. So it was an expense I was not looking for or not expecting to have to do, but it's a showstopper for us. If the buses and dispatch can't communicate, we can't provide the service.
Right. And that's just to show you folks, everything's not bluebirds and sweet dreams.
Yes.
Our staff has to be pretty nimble footed to get around these issues.
Yeah, it's been, you know, the one thing about working with rides is it's constant change. But the other thing that never changes is the level of dedication that our staff has and that our drivers have for the individuals that we serve. I never cease to be amazed at the dedication that our drivers have to their communities and the people they serve. It brings me to tears some days. I mean, they just are so compassionate and kind and caring. You know, I've had people say to me, I wish I could leave my money to your drivers. They're kinder to me than my family. We'll have individuals get on a bus and literally we'll say, can I just ride around for an hour or so? Because it becomes their social outing for the day. And then they'll tell the driver, I'm ready to go home now, and we can drop them back off at home. So it's really a privilege to be able to do what we do. And it's why I get up in the morning, is because of what we do, the empowerment that it gives people to continue to live their lives. And then the other side of that is, you know, now as we branch out into other things like the R mobile PAP and the enterprise and the centers portal and being community partners. I mean, it's exciting to see, you know, 8 buses lined up at Lakeside Lab to pick up, you know, 5,000 people within a week and take them. It's just fun to see that happen. So anything else that I can answer for anybody?
How much does the state actually owe you? I mean, is there a chance that they're not going to pay it?
No, I'm not concerned that they won't pay it. We get paid quarterly. It's called a drawdown and it comes quarterly. I don't actually have that total number with me. Tim, I can find that out and let Bill know. It depends on where the quarter falls, and Bill's got a pretty good idea with that with our board meetings. But I know that I want to say it's probably 250 to 300,000.
Yeah, as I say, it looks like it's a big number to me.
It is a big number.
Hmm.
Unfortunately.
But you're confident they're going to fund it?
At this point, yes. Hoping it doesn't change.
I don't take them for granted that much.
Well, we can't either, but you know, so all we can do is be the best stewards of the funds we have at this point.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you all very much. Have a most blessed holiday season, and thank you for your time and support.
Thank you so much.
So, Cindy. Okay, next up is the approval of the November 28th board meeting minutes. Did anyone see any mistakes?
Motion to approve.
Okay, Steve has moved.
I can second.
Kim has seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. Steve?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
And Bill is aye. You received a joint drainage claim this morning. In the amount of $1,257.20. And that was for Weed Spring on Joint District 1, Emmett and Dickinson. That is going to
B&W Control
There.
Specialists. B&W Control Specialists.
brush and weeds.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So was that the whole bill or is that our share of it?
that would be our share.
Okay. I didn't see it broke out.
And then
It'll get split.
Okay,
It'll be based off of the percentage.
okay.
that we have.
so it isn't
It
totally
won't be the whole
1257.
1,257 to us. It'll be our share of that. Okay, okay.
They'll let us know once it comes to the drainage levy time. They'll send a resolution for us to get approved, say what a percent that we go to that district.
Okay. motion to approve.
Okay, thank you, Steve.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Tim. It's been moved by Steve, seconded by Tim, that we pay our share of joint district ED1. Do I hear any discussion on that? If not, Steve,
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
And Bill is aye. And next up, Chris.
I'm hoping you all got
Yes.
a report, otherwise I can pass them out. Okay, and good morning.
Good morning.
Mine's not as exciting as the rides report, but mine's all about abating some taxes, including a tax sale that the county holds. I think it's the last one the county holds, which is actually really good because we don't want to have those. But anyway, so the first one for taxes is a property that was picked up by the United States of America, and they traditionally don't pay taxes on this kind of, on just this kind of a property. So I need to get that one abated. And the taxes that actually, they were paid up to date. So there's nothing right now, but it's for next year because they've already been triggered, so to speak. So it's future tax amount.
Chris, what property is it that the US bought or
It's,
took over?
I don't have it right in front of me. It's, I've given you the parcel number there. I'd have to go back and look, or maybe we can pull it up. Jordan. But I can also get that detail to you afterwards. That it's, I'm believing it's farmland, a piece of farmland, yeah.
Okay, now, who is in charge of junking those trailers?
In this case, it's this, now this, the two trailers that are on here, or actually it's just one, but it had a building on leased land, a porch or something attached to it. It's in Center Lake. So it's not the ones that are over by Arnold's Park that we've been talking about for the past several months. So this one, the roof is caved in, it's in terrible shape. And I was waiting for a court order. So it's been on the agenda and I took it off the agenda and put it back on yesterday because I talked to John Martin, who's representing the trailer court. And we finally got the judgment from the court that it is officially abandoned and awarded to the mobile home park. And they are demolishing it because it's in terrible shape. And
Okay.
so it has a county held certificate on it. The taxes haven't been paid for 4 years. And we've been trying to get a hold of the owner. The owner lives in, last that we know of, lived in Des Moines. And there was somebody else living in the property for a while, but it was in terrible shape. So it's being demolished. And the judge court order, and I just literally got it right before I came here. John sent it to me. The judgment is entered against the defendant in favor of the plaintiff for court costs and $6,500 reasonable cost of removal. When they remove these old mobile homes, they're costly to junk them. And then, so the court is now awarding them. So what I'd like to have you do then is to go ahead and cancel officially the county held tax certificate on it, and then abate all taxes for both the mobile home, which is what the county held is on. That's what was sold at tax sale and didn't get picked up by anybody because they saw the condition of it. So that it ended up being awarded to us as a default. And now we'll go out of our lien and all the taxes be abated, including the porch, which has also been demolished or on the way to being demolished.
In the amount of $3,431,
Yep.
correct?
Well, that's the total. So the total of everything, most of it wasn't this one, but I'm not sure.
I'm reading off the sheet I received.
That's everything together.
That's everything. The whole.
Well,
Most of
that's-
it is, a parcel, a different parcel. But it is.
So when you get a motion, what do you want it to say?
I would say, the county health certificate number, county health is done in. It had 2 years ago. But that's what it on is that, 4 0 and formally cancel that one. And then abate all the taxes associated with it and also the other parts.
Okay, you get that, board? We'll see who makes a motion. We'll see.
I'm
Do-
hoping to do this in November, so I have all the numbers broken out in November.
do all counties deal with this way? I mean,
Yeah.
when you look at an individual, it's no big thing, but I mean, we talk so much about decommissioning clauses. I think we gotta start, we've given away $10,000-15,000 since I've been on this board.
This one is no. They're really wants to- it's us.
But I mean,
We have the county health.
I think we need an ordinance to make a deposit or, I mean, somebody's got,
We demolished. Yeah, right. So they're taking the bigger expense, they're taking. And getting it out of the system, because it's not. So it's sellable.
well, I understand that.
Yeah, there's another one that they also. That one. This one.
Hmm,
No,
well.
it's not. Yeah, and it's other. Very on our.
I'd make a motion to abate county health certificate CH 22000003. Did I get that right?
I think so.
Was that for all of them?
No, if we got a
Yeah, that was the only one that was on a
Cancel one.
county held tax.
I'll second that.
Okay, Jeff has moved, Tim has seconded to abate.
So are you,
That one I'd like to be separate because it is the county health
Because one's
certificate.
canceled and the
Yeah.
others are abated.
I abated for that, yeah,
And we're working on the abated ones now,
yeah,
oh, he just did the county health certificate.
and abate, yeah,
which covers those, correct or not?
Well, he's doing the canceled
Of the-
county health certificate right now. And then he'll go to the abatement. I
Okay.
just wanna make sure.
Mhm.
okay.
Okay, Jeff has moved, Tim has seconded, further discussion? Hearing none, Jeff,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Kim,
Aye.
and Bill is aye.
Thank you for that one. Now for the finishing up on the rest of the taxes, there was a parcel in Milford area that had been combined, well, it was actually two parcels and it was combined into one parcel for this current tax year that we're collecting. But the old two parcels that made up the new one were never inactivated, so the person actually got double taxed. So this is just cleaning up the double tax issue. These are the two parcels that need to be having the taxes abated so that we can make them inactive. And then the other parcel, they've already paid the taxes on that.
I can move to that.
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Tim, seconded by Kim, further directs discussion? Hearing none, Tim,
Aye.
Kim,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
and Bill is aye.
Yeah, thank you. Some of these things get found out when we do delinquent letters because they weren't paid. And then when we did more exploring, because they said we paid them, then we find out, oh, there is a problem with that one. So anyway, thank you so much. And then we did also include the United States parcel too that had future taxes.
I don't think so.
Okay,
No.
I think
Let me
we've
just
got a
address that
separate
one.
On that. That's not to abate the tax, that's to eliminate the taxes.
it would be kind of to, yeah, so that next year when they pop up, I'll have that
Okay.
clarity that I can go
I'd
ahead.
make a motion to eliminate the taxes on parcel 042220003 owned by the United States of America in the future.
Okay. Steve has moved. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Jeff is seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. Steve,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Kim,
Aye.
and Bill is aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'll be back maybe for one more, but hopefully not for more.
Can't wait. Thanks, Chris.
Okay. We need to amend the 2018 radio tower agreement with IGL.
Morning.
Morning.
Oh, Mike.
You might have heard in the news last month, I believe it was, that IGL is selling to Premier Communications. So what this, I guess, amendment is to change the agreement we have in place, take IGL off and put Premier onto it, since they are taking over the business, the company, and the equipment on our tower here. So I guess, Steve, if I'm misspeaking, please correct me, but that's, I guess, the gist of it. I can say the agreement, since we've had it in place, has worked out very well. IGL has been a very good partner with us with our equipment on their tower, and they have stuff on our tower. With our radio project that's going on right now, if we didn't have space on that tower over there, we'd be looking at having to put up our own tower. So you're talking about buying land, putting up a tower, probably easily in excess of $200,000 for the size of tower we would need over there and everything. So this agreement, like I say, has been working very well for us, and I don't see any reason why we wouldn't want to continue it.
This just, all it's gonna do basically then is change the name that's on the agreement.
Yep.
Okay.
I was good with that agreement when we made it.
Yep,
I'm
so
still good with it. But when we say we're amending it, I mean, we don't have anything in front of us other than what are we, give me some guidance.
name change.
All we're gonna do is change the name.
Yep.
I'm good with that.
Yep.
I would make that motion.
Okay, Tim has moved,
Second.
Steve has seconded to amend the agreement with IGL. Further discussion? Hearing none. Tim?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
And Bill is aye. Next up. Thank you. All right, thank you.
Like, you need to sign.
Bill, you want to stop in the office, I'll sign my part.
Okay, sounds good. Cole.
Morning. I only got one quick thing here. I forgot to put together my written thing this morning, but this one will be pretty simple to go with here. It's removal of beaver dam. So it's a request for repairs on Joint Drainage District 2. I sent everybody an email this morning as well that showed kind of the extent of this backup. It is pretty severe. I went and looked at it out in the field. It's a huge beaver dam. It's backing up water on the entire main tile system. There's the picture there. So you can see down in the bottom, basically right in the middle, the creek goes dry after that. That's the 2022 aerial on Beacon. So it's been in place for quite a while. It's just now been reported to us for removal. We looked at it and it's too big and too far out for any of our county equipment to reach. We essentially don't have a long reach excavator, so we can't get to it. So we need to have a private contractor with a long reach excavator do that removal. So I guess there's a clear need here. What my suggestion would be to direct me to solicit a contractor to remove the beaver dams on Joint Drainage District 2 main open ditch. I would estimate that this is probably going to cost around $2,000. And it is best just to get this taken care of rather than trying to see if it'll get blown out naturally. Obviously it didn't in the last year. And you're going to start to incur some pretty bad ditch bank problems if you let it keep breaking around the outside edges.
It's D or DNO.
DNO.
Motion to approve.
Okay, Kim has moved.
And second that.
Tim has seconded. Further discussion?
Well, in defense of the beavers. Without surveying that line, they may actually be on the parcel line with their dam. Exactly.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, that isn't that, what's the odds of that? How close they are?
They are.
It's all owned by one landowner, I think, on the north end south. So
Oh, I'm good. Shouldn't have said it. I apologize.
but
You volunteered to take
I
care of
didn't
the
notice
beaver
that
after you get rid of their
when you were
I just think it's ironic how close it is to the property.
They got off the coast to get right on the parcel line. It's just a
Well, my point is they may be. If without surveying it, we can't tell. Now, let's just drop. Let's just drop. Oh, the question.
It's awfully close.
I just saw.
You late at night trying to think of it.
I'm good.
making the motion on that.
No,
I made the motion.
I seconded it.
Okay, Yeah, you're right. I've got it here. Sorry. All right, further discussion on the poor beaver? No? Okay, Kim?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
And Bill is aye.
Contractor. Like you said.
Yes,
We're gonna hire.
solicit a contractor.
Solicit.
Yep. I guess the one other thing I'll add, you guys mentioned on a joint drainage district, I think D&E, you guys saw a bill from B&W Control Specialist. That's who we're working with to spray the west half of the county. I'm going to be working with them to try to get them in here to talk with you guys at some point at getting a drainage district maintenance schedule figured out with them as well. So hopefully we can reduce problems like this in the future. There's tons of small saplings out there that are really contributing to this problem in a major way. So, we'll be able to take out their supply of sticks. They won't be able to build as strong in dams with that. We'll still see corn stalk ones, but hopefully we'll see a reduction if we can get a tree spraying program going on ditches here in the next year.
But that would also address the mess we have over in DD 15 where they have the trees growing up
Right.
over the tile too.
Correct.
And that would be a big win.
Yep.
Great.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks, Cole.
Okay, we're now down to our general discussion and board and committee reports.
Thank you, Mr.
Yep.
Chair. I had a busy week last week. I had a Sioux Rivers Mental Health and Disability meeting. We approved our fiscal year 22 audit report and certified our fiscal year 23 year-end balance for HHS. Everything looks good. We also discussed county contract for general assistance. That would be Beth and Sue, who have an office here and office space that the region actually rents and gives us money to have a space for them. I then attended the District 3 Supervisor meeting in Storm Lake. It was well attended. I think there are probably around 40 supervisors and reps there. Congratulations to Tim Fairchild, who was elected chairman for the District 3 for next year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We had discussions with state reps and senators about really a number of important issues, from budgeting after the House File 718 limiting property tax increases for certain taxpayers, all the way to mental health issues and their costs and the importance of actually counties and state working together, especially on legislative priorities that the Iowa State Association of Counties feel they're necessary. I then on, what day would that have been? On Wednesday, I believe, I attended a safety workshop here in the courthouse on defensive winter driving for our employees. Highway Patrolman Kevin Krupp did an outstanding job. He made it educational, entertaining, and I think it was very well received from all the employees that were there. And it was well attended by our employees. That was part of the safety committee, by the way. Then on Thursday, had a recycling commission meeting. The Regional Collection Center has been really busy. They continue to get a lot of trees, and they can't keep up. And of course, we don't burn out there anymore, so they're at the mercy of chipping, and we're looking at options there. They are on winter hours, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We had great discussions from city, county reps, and even Waste Management, who was there. And we talked about meeting the needs for recycling throughout Dickinson County and keeping our landfill healthy. Those are really keys that we're looking at. The commission voted to keep our assessments the same as last year, so they will not be going up. On Friday, I attended the Iowa Drainage District Annual Conference in Fort Dodge. We heard from the executive director of the Iowa Nutrient Research and Education Council about what they're learning about soils in Iowa and what's going on with materials that come off of the land. We also heard from the Bureau Chief of Disaster Grants with the Iowa Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management on the status of drainage levees in Iowa. Thank heaven we don't deal with levees here. Most of those are in the southern part of the state. There's lots of issues going on with the levees in the state of Iowa. Interesting things. Then we also had the senior research scientist with the Iowa Soybean Association give us an update on drainage, water storage, and recycling. We're hearing more and more about ways that we can reuse water that is here to recycle, reuse, and make it better for our farmland. Then the Iowa Drainage District Association Legal Counsel, probably the most interesting part of the whole meeting. shared updates on current drainage issues throughout Iowa, and there are many. That was my week.
Good when it was. Steve.
Made me tired just listening to it. Thursday, I went to the county safety training and it was a good program. Well attended in the session I went to, so. Friday, I went to the Drainage District Association meeting. The speakers were all pretty fair. I thought it was interesting. One of the points that Kim didn't touch on that I picked up on was that they said, you know, they'd really like to see all the drainage districts platted.
Yeah.
And we're trying to make those available, you know, to the general public when they purchase a property and so on. They also said that Wright County has a new resolution on drainage crossings by pipelines, and it's available for review on a website called Basecamp.
Right.
Okay. So I'm sure we'll be looking at that maybe a little bit to see what they're doing. Last night, I attended the compensation board meeting. That's a pretty good group that I think they take their job pretty seriously. Each rep made their recommendation for their particular who they represent, and they came up with 6.6% for all elected officials and a 9.9% increase for the sheriff. As budget people, we'll have to see how that goes.
It won't.
So anyway, that was my week.
Okay, Tim.
I went to my Upper Des Moines meeting. The takeaway there really is people are very generous and they give a lot of food, but you got to keep the lights on too. You got to keep the furnaces running. So if you feel so moved to donate, do so without encumbering those funds to a specific use. Let them use them where they need to use them. And just trust them that they'll use it someplace wise. You know, they had a furnace go out here a while ago. They've had other things, but I don't want to jinx anything, but Dickinson County has a lot of money in their food account. But they could use money for operations. So that's something to keep in mind when you're making those year-end donations. After that, I guess I did go to the District 3 meeting where I was unfortunate enough to get that position back again. But I enjoy that, and I think it's very beneficial to get in amongst other supervisors who are facing the same challenges that you are. And oftentimes they have some pretty creative things. I thought Osceola County, for instance, puts all their intends to put all their unfunded mandates out to the public for a special vote to see what I don't know what's going to happen if they don't pass, how they're going to make their budget, but it was interesting. And no, that wasn't criminal, and he wasn't trying to break the law as the senator suggested at the meeting. I guess the next thing that I would have done would have been the drainage district meeting, and that's always informative, and it's always worth the county's dime to send people down there. That's what I did.
Yeah.
I attended the veterans meeting last Wednesday morning at 9 right here, and maybe you looked at your emails from Spring Jones. The veterans are getting the things in motion to work on the veterans memorials out here in the front of the courthouse. In fact, we've got another meeting next Monday morning, I believe. I attended the recycling meeting on Thursday and had a roundtable discussion with members of the Chamber and the Chamber Board of Directors and Tourism and their committee yesterday, moving forward on the collaboration between the two. That's about it.
Well, very good. I also went to the district meeting. I think the best thing I came away with is we talked to Don Cass from Plymouth County, and they have set up rules and regulations on solar farms. That will probably be the next thing that comes. And one of the things he said is that they will base the siting on the corn CRV. Yeah.
Corn
Yeah.
suitability rating.
CSR.
Corn suitability rating.
Right. And 50, I believe, was their basis that they use. I did go to the corridor meeting. it addressed one of the topics that I've worked on for several years. When I was working in Esterville, in the morning, I'd see all these cars headed west. Then when I headed west, I'd see the same cars headed east. And so I started to think about public transportation. And I ran into all these problems like, well, this guy's got to go here and that guy's got to go there and that guy wants to stop for groceries. And I originally thought, hey, the train tracks are still there. We take the train into Spirit Lake. And, well, just didn't work. Well, enterprises come up where they lease cars to companies, and the people that ride in them all work the same shift. So there's no, this company gets out at 3:30, this one gets out at 4. They're all together. They do have to have a trained driver amongst those people, but it sounds like it could work. Sounds like. I also went to the safety meeting. The thing that really stuck with me was the video of these teenage boys coming down this hill on their snowboards, jumping the highway and landing on the other side. And so 3 or 4 of them are doing it, and that's all fun. Well, then this 5th one comes down. About that time, a semi comes around the corner. You saw the snowboard fly backwards, and the patrolman said, "I'm happy to announce the snowboard wasn't hurt." So he was entertained. So slow down in the winter time, make sure you're prepared. And that's what I did. Does anyone?
I got one other thing. One thing I forgot, Bill, was that we have on the commission that I went to on last night, compensation board, we've got at least 1 vacancy and 3 others that will need appointed, so.
Right. Okay. Does anyone in the public have anything to add to what we've discussed? If not, Mr. Goodlow, do you have an excuse for us to go into closed session?
Under Iowa Code Section 21.5, closed session, the governmental body may hold a closed session by only by affirmative vote of either 2/3 of the members of the body or all members present at the meeting. A governmental body may hold a closed session only to the extent a closed session is necessary for any of the following reasons. In this case, it's Iowa Code Section 21.51C, and that's to discuss strategy with counsel on matters presently in litigation, or litigation is imminent where disclosure would likely prejudice or disadvantage the governmental body.
Does anyone wish to go into closed session?
Make a motion to do so.
Okay, Jeff Dees made a motion.
I'll second.
Tim Fairchild has seconded. Roll call vote. Jeff?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Kim? And Bill is aye. We will now be going into closed session, so